Every year, hundreds of thousands of sub-Saharan people decide to abandon their country to begin the uncertain journey undertaken by any immigrant. They dream about Europe, the promised land seen in movies and television. Many others decide to stay in order to deal with the present, without fleeing or more adventures, just those of their daily routine. But who are these men? What are their desires, fears, or impossible dreams? Andrea Kane is 19 years old and was born in Cameroon. He works at the Rio Cinema in Yamena, although he really is a soccer player. He plays for the Postal 2000 team in Chad's First Division. He trained to be a soccer player in Yaoundé, Cameroon's capital. His dream is to play soccer in Europe someday. He's sent several letters to the French teams in Bordeaux and Nantes for a tryout, but nobody has replied. He has decided to leave for France. He will cross the desert through Libya and then will take a boat to Europe. He knows how dangerous this can be, but he can only think about playing in Europe.
When I reach Europe, I would like to play for a French team, especially on the Bordeaux team, for 2 years. Then, I'm going to try to go to Spain or England. In England, I want to play for Liverpool, and in Spain, for Real Madrid. All this, if that is what God wants. If I'm lucky, in 2 or 3 weeks I could be on the coast, and I'll just have to wait for a good opportunity to cross over to Europe. I dream about seeing the coast from a distance. People say that departures are usually made at night. When they see the first lights on the shore, people shout with joy. That light. For months I've been waking up during the night seeing that light. I sometimes thought it was the coal projector still burning, but then I would remember what it was and the light would disappear. But I couldn't sleep anymore. People also say that many people never make it, and that their boats sink, and they never reach the coast. I'm going to make it. I'll make it there, with the help of God.
If there were a place in Africa to flee from, it would be from the cities. Niamey is the exception, but not because it is beautiful or a pleasant city. What sub-Saharan African capital deserves adjectives like those? Niamey's charm lies in its image as a rural capital. No one has emigrated from the country to the city, but instead they have taken the country to the city. No more than 5% of the nation's total population lives in Niamey, and of the rest, 20% are nomadic. In Niamey, modernity is made up of islands that transform it into something somewhat less than a city, but somewhat more than a dusty village. When entering Bamako, like most of the large African capitals, it gives you the sensation of having arrived after a bombing. Everything is dilapidated and chaotic. The center of Bamako is a large market without limits, where you can find everything from umbrellas to spare parts for a car. Bamako preserves something that Western cities have lost. It's alive. There are people in the streets and things happen, although they may not be police pursuits or multiple murders. Yamena is a convalescent city after surviving more than 30 years of war. Its streets and markets are recuperating with vitality from the conflict that is repeated all along the Sahel Strip. The confrontation between the Arab Muslims of the north and the animists and Christians of the south. Chad has been demolished by this conflict. Human remains and metal war scraps are still scattered throughout the country as a monument to the stupidity of man. Music is the heart of Sahel. A unique rhythm exists in Africa, a cadence for setting space and time. A kind of complicity for putting order in chaos with improvised sounds. There are no palpable boundaries that segregate music from life or religion from daily life. Music is the path for an encounter with ancestors, the vehicle towards lust and trance. Africans use music to fight against illness. Music coordinates communal tasks and celebrates death. Music is the umbilical cord that unites man with the rest of the world. Lagare is one of the best percussionists in Mali. His djembe is famous all throughout Bamako and along the Niger River. He usually plays on the street and at weddings, baptisms, and street festivals, but he has also played with the best musicians in the country. His dream is to play in Europe someday.
Sometimes when I'm sleeping, I wake up in the middle of the night and I hear the djembe. It is like a nightmare. I cannot do anything. The sound resounds in my head. I only hear an insistent sound.
Lobi Traoré is an excellent disciple of Ali Farka Touré, the most international Malian musician. Ali Farka Touré won a Grammy Award alongside Ray Cooder. Together, Ali Farka Touré and Lobi Traoré have been the driving force of a musical style that mixes jazz with traditional Niger River rhythms.
For me, no one trade is better than another. We are all important and equal. Musicians, drivers, mechanics, government workers. We are all equally important. God grants each individual a function. He gave me this one. I was created to play, and music is more important than gold or diamonds.
Umusima Yogo is a great Malian musician, an artist whose songs reflect women's struggle for equal rights. She is a griot, one of the jongleurs who has evolved towards less conventional forms. In traditional music, women usually sing while men play the instruments. Despite evolution, this role distribution has been maintained up until today.